Hi, this is another, this is a kind of part two, as I mentioned, of the erotic dramas and thrillers that I did before. And anyway, I forgot to mention a few titles which I didn't mention in the other one, but yeah, excuse me a second, sorry. Yeah, and yeah, not much more to say about it really, but I said most of what I needed to, what I wanted to say about these movies. That yeah, the the nation which has come up with the best ones for me. I did mention Careful What You Wish For. This is it. Yeah, excellent. It's about a young guy who kind of falls for a boss's wife kind of thing. So really, really sexy thriller. This great. And the other one was this one. Again, a Canadian drama thriller, erotic drama thriller. Um, and this is its US title. So yeah, German edition. So it's got a different title, but yeah, I prefer the US one. Anyway, yeah, Sarah Butler in this one. But yeah, that those two, and the one I forgot to mention was another one where it's a case where excuse me a second, sorry. Yeah, it's another one where Hollywood does tend to sometimes get it right, and this was with a really big name. This was again the early 90s. But yeah, I forgot to mention about this one before, but I personally think this is actually right up there with the likes of Eyes Wide Shut as one of the best ones that they've actually done. This did work for me, and worked for me very well. Colour of Night, Bruce Willis and Jane March. An excellent erotic thriller this. Really sexy, very erotic, and very well done. And what makes me laugh is, at the time, Bruce Willis was interviewed about it when when he was promoting the movie, and of course there was a lot of controversy in it about. There's a lot of nude scenes featuring Jane and Bruce, and all this controversy, all this, caused a big furore at the time. And he was asked about it by a certain interviewer, whoever they were, and yeah, Bruce Willis said, where are we now? Actually, I think it was 1994 it was made. Yeah, he said, Bruce was saying, he was asked about the nude scenes and all the rest of it, and, something about it. And Bruce was, and Bruce said, where are we now? 1994, aren't we? It's 1994 now. Don't you think it's about time we all started to grow up a little bit? That just summed it up for me. I thought, yeah, it is, Bruce. It is about time everyone grew up, especially in Hollywood. But let's face it, it's never going to happen, is it? But it just made me laugh. But yeah, Bruce, you're spot on, Bruce. Yes, it is, but it won't happen. But well, regardless of that, yeah, I just always remembered that interview when he was asked that. But yeah, yeah, I love Colour of Night. It's one of the best ones that I've got. So yeah, I did forget to mention that one. Another one that I didn't mention, that I forgot about, was one. Sorry, excuse me. Yeah, another one that I didn't mention was one that came out in 1980. I think it was 1984 or 5. I think it was 1984, and it was one that was actually released. But I'll come to that in a second. I believe I remember. Yeah, it's a movie called Thief of Hearts. I saw it way back when it was televised one night. And I saw it, yeah, like I say, way back. I was about 17, 18, maybe 19 at the time. I think I was 18 actually. And it came on TV one night. And I was just completely blown away by it. I thought, this is one of the best erotic drama thrillers that I think Hollywood's ever done. And for me it was. I think it still is. It had some massive names in it. Stephen Boyer was in it. And David Caruso, an early role for David Caruso. John Getz was in it from The Fly. Barbara Williams from Family of Cops, I do believe, in many movies as well. And the soundtrack was produced by Harold Faltermeyer of Axel F fame. And I do believe also Giorgio Moroder co-produced it. You got some big names there. It was written and directed by Douglas Day Stewart, who I think wrote, I can never remember whether he either wrote or directed An Officer and a Gentleman. Yeah, so he wrote and directed it. We've got some big names here. And yet the movie kind of just seemed to disappear. But it has recently, some years ago, been released on DVD and Blu-ray. Unfortunately, it was butchered. Completely cut to shreds. Did they think we wouldn't notice? I really hate the way they did that. And so I've never bought it. I will only buy it on one condition. If they restore every single second of how it should have been. Otherwise, I'm not getting it. But, apart from that, yeah, Thief of Hearts is an 80s, one of the best erotic drama thrillers I ever saw, certainly back then. And that was also a Hollywood movie. Paramount, by the way, it was who released and distributed that. But, sorry, excuse me. Yeah, so, yeah. There have been a few, quite a few. Well, there have been some, you know, jewels out there. But I still say that they're very inconsistent and their attitude will always remain the same. I still don't think they're the best at it, right? They're certainly not the best in the world at erotic thrillers. Maybe they would like to be. But there's too much fuss about sexuality and nudity on screen. You know, it just doesn't feel natural with them. Doesn't seem natural. But it does with French cinema, of course. And Canadians don't seem to mind either. These movies that I've got here are there to prove it. But yeah, there have been other ones as well. I would also say that there's other B movies that I do have which are some of the best I've seen in terms of, I'm not sure if they're really erotic drama thrillers, or maybe they are. They certainly have a bit of eroticism in them. This one here is one of the best erotic dramas I've ever seen. Again, Carrie Wurr is in this. That's one of the best B movies that I've got. For me, it's right up there with Strip to Kill. That's how brilliant that is. So there are a few. There are some, but it's not really their strong point. But I do have a few other ones here. There's this one, which is a real rarity. This cost me 25 quid years and years ago. But that's, I think, a TV movie. That's a really decent one. There's yeah, Sexual Predator here, starring Angie Everhart, where she plays basically villain. But that's a cracker. And yeah, I've got another one here, Playhouse, which is a really good one. These are all kind of... Oh yeah, and another one here. There was one called Once, Two Moon Junction, from the writer of or co-written by the guy who co-wrote, written and directed by the guy who co-wrote 9.5 Weeks. Yeah, I forgot about that one too. There's been a big fuss about that one, hasn't there? But I personally don't think that was great either. No. I saw 9.5 Weeks long, long ago. Not impressed. I don't think it was that good. Again, another... Oh, for me, overrated. Not good. But yeah, Two Moon Junction I think was okay, but I didn't like one of the stars. It didn't work for me. But I do have the sequel, Return to Two Moon Junction, which I think is actually much better. So there is that one. And that cost me a fortune as well. That's the trouble with some of these so-called erotic thrillers and DVDs like that. They do tend to cost a lot of money. But that's the price you pay, you know. A lot of them had small print runs, or a lot of them are rare, you know, very difficult to get hold of. So they're not gonna be cheap. So, and another one I've got is this one, which is Alison is watching, which is another really good one. So yeah, that's pretty much most of the best erotic drama thrillers that I've got. I've got a few others in there, but not enough time to go through all of them. But you get the general idea. But yeah, I'd like to get on to, yeah, just for a minute or two, I'd like to speak just quickly. Hold on a minute, sorry. Yeah. Yeah. Lesbian erotic dramas and thrillers. Another Canadian one is Below Her Mouth. That's brilliant. But the best one ever for me, Blue is the Warmest Colour. The greatest lesbian erotic drama I've ever seen. There is another one which focuses on lesbians, isn't there? Bound. Well, I wasn't too impressed with that either. I think it's way too mainstream. I think it tried. It was pretty good. It did have a few moments, but it still seemed to follow the rules of mainstream cinema. It didn't just go for broke. And there wasn't much nudity in it, so it just didn't feel natural for me. And it didn't quite work for me. But yeah, I thought Bound was okay, but to me, no. I had a copy once on DVD, but I let it go. Not quite there. It just still seemed to follow. There still seemed to be too much control in it. It didn't seem liberated enough. So no, it didn't work for me. It certainly wasn't anything like this, that's for sure. But anyway, yeah. So that's pretty much it for yeah, erotic dramas and thrillers. But I think I've covered most of the ones I wanted to there. But anyway, thanks very much. Cheers. Bye.